This face. This is the face of a man who has seen the end of days. Or ran the time limit and didn't steal the person's treasure. Whichever works, right?
Alternate ending.
He has seen heaven and wants more.
Oh my god. Anyways, hey guys, I'm Keenan47 aka Wolfkeen, and welcome back to the Wolf Podcast. We'll be talking about the 9th episode of Persona 5 the animation, Operation Maidwatch. With me today is...
Hello everyone, I am Dean Mikami, says DM.3000.
Hey everyone, this is FlOrangey.
Hey everyone, this is Mario Fanboy 15, aka that guy that strangely wants that Shadow the Hedgehog PlayStation 2 controller.
Wait, there's a Shadow the Hedgehog PlayStation 2 controller?
There is?
There is. It
What?
was used for the Shadow the Hedgehog video game.
What?
What?
Okay, I guess that's the only reason you would want to get that game.
Look over yourself, folks. I'm not kidding.
Oh
You said it was a PS2 controller, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that looks good.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Anyways, just to preface this real quick, any kind of comparisons that we make to the game or the animation are purely done for analytical reasons. And to get the synopsis of the episode, well, pretty much it's after the Madarame arc, and basically at one point, Ryuji stumbles across a flyer, which I'm pretty sure most people recognize from the very beginning of the animation, and they decide to basically call a maid, and that maid ends up turning out to be fucking Kawakami!
This is the fan service episode in many ways.
As if like the scene after the opening credits
Oh,
didn't get that away.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, speaking of fan service, how about that on fan service, huh?
Uh,
It's just like anime. You are very close to getting a TVMA rating.
I'm just gonna say this right here, but the first time I saw that preview image, my thought was, is that Teddy?
wait,
Oh,
I'm sorry, but from that side profile with her hair up, the first thing I thought was, she looks like Teddy. You're welcome.
Teddy is on.
And the sad part is...
wait. You mean cross-dressing Teddy or legitimate regular
Cross-dressing
Teddy?
Teddy.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Alice Teddy.
And just to finish the synopsis real quick, it then spirals into us learning more about Ryuji, the track team, and pretty much we get to see like a sort of resolution for the track team, and of course, it just spirals into the fact that we'll be now in June, and we will soon be seeing the next target, which is apparently his name is Junya Kaneshiro. But anyways, this episode, one statement. If you jumped ship from the previous episode, get your asses back over here. Because this episode's freaking hilarious and amazing.
This is one of my favorite episodes of the anime so far.
This episode was stupid and I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say this. Talk about a complete 180 from the last episode. It's like last episode, we all really didn't like it. But this episode, just like the complete opposite.
I know, why do you think I was like, get your asses back over here, whoever jumped shit? Nope, you're getting back on. We're not letting you drown.
Pull Ryuji and Mishima where you just jump off the balcony.
Yeah,
Just
no,
please don't touch Ren.
oh my god, it was great. But anyways, let's give our individual thoughts. So Dean, start us off.
All right. I remember when I first watched this episode, and just by watching like the various beginning from the minute that Kawakami entered the picture, nearly everything, when I wasn't impressed by how well they wrote out the episode, I was just pure out laughing at most of it. The whole scene with Kawakami, or well, Becky, doing basically flirting with Ren and with his back turned, I couldn't stop laughing throughout that entire thing. I thought they handled that scene perfectly.
I'm a
I'm a dad.
dad.
They
No,
picked
no,
up
no,
the perfect
no,
option.
Not nice to meow you.
Nice to meow you.
You.
Oh my god.
They picked the best options too. That's the greatest thing.
And
Because
God,
those are exact options from the game.
and God, Ren's like everyone that was saying, including us, that Ren had no emotion. Shut up. All of us,
Yep.
everyone, including us, can shut the hell up because this episode made us eat our words.
It's,
I will cave and admit Ren has personality. It just took him too fucking long to finally show it.
It did.
It took what,
yeah,
episode
yeah,
7?
yeah. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad when this is the first episode where Ren gets the most personality.
At freaking 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's, you know what? This is the best part for it now, honestly.
Oh yeah, but a perfect time for him to do so as well, because like it's actually kind of good that they actually gave him a bit more of a personality, and much different from the P3 and P4 protagonists of the previous games.
Yeah, I think the P4 anime, if this was you, he'd be the instigator rather than the guy who just seems to sort of just shyly be going along with it, even though he really wants to be there.
It's for
Yeah.
research.
I could kind of see you actually playing it cool, and Makoto basically being like, "I'm gonna stare at this crab that's for some reason right here."
I remember that. He was just like, in the movie, he was just staring at a crab, and I'm like, what are you even doing over there?
I don't know. He just didn't care.
All that mattered was him and Yusuke would probably get along really well.
Probably, yeah.
Honestly. Oh my god. Is there anything else you want to add, Dean?
No, most of my things are covered in differences.
Mhm.
Alright, Cole.
This episode is so dumb and I love it. Okay, it's one half dumb, one half heartwarming, and it connects so well together that I absolutely really do like it. And though I have to admit, I think some of my enjoyment comes also from the fact that there are so many ways that you can take half the first 10 minutes of these scenes out of context in the worst way possible.
Yeah, like how Yusuke was aroused.
Oh.
Oh.
And you saw these guys at the bathhouse when also An was around.
Oh, yeah, because yeah. And oh, I feel so bad for Ren when he's just like, when Ryuji just backs into him, he's like, "Please don't touch me." It's like, that is a man who's trying to keep something down that's not staying down.
I'm gonna get demonetized. Actually, I don't. My videos don't get monetized anymore. Thanks.
Well,
YouTube,
if you were still partnered, this would be the moment.
No, it's like. Thanks, YouTube.
I didn't explicitly state the item in question.
Oh.
But you know YouTube, they're just that like that. But god damn it!
I think we broke Nelson.
Shut up. Shut
Wow,
up.
within the first couple of minutes, that's a record.
Talk about a new county record.
I hate you all.
You're welcome. I love you too.
Cole.
So anything else, Cole? Because apparently Nelson is gone.
What?
Anything else, Cole, before we move on to Zach?
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. All the extremely awkward innuendo-laden hilarity of the first 10 minutes aside, everything with Ryuji is just so wonderful that I love it for the most part.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just like how he, like, everything that's dealt with the track team, with Ren going out of his way to help with this, because technically he doesn't need to, but he's going to anyway because he cares that much. And of course, Ryuji getting the shit beaten out of him.
Oh
Oh
god.
yeah, of course. That
Yeah,
happened in the original, so.
Yeah, well, I just love that he's like, okay, if you need someone to beat up, let it be me, and they're just like,
If you
All right.
exist.
okay, and he's like,
They're like, wait, I didn't mean it.
seriously?
I
And
thought you were joking.
And Kawakami's just in the background as it's happening.
Mhm.
Smiling, I gave me up.
Yeah, smiling and nodding is like, taught
Yeah.
him well.
Yeah, I like I like it more on my second viewing than I did my first, but definitely a good episode.
All right, Zach, you're up.
Well, the first thing I should say about this episode, hey, Ryuji, glad to see that you got a better phone picture this time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it's not a generic R.
Yeah, it's now a skull.
I get it.
Yay.
What should I say? Yeah. I pretty much loved everything about this episode. But I think the part that made me like laugh out loud the most is like at the very end where Kokami is just like, I do cooking and laundry and massages, and it just immediately cuts to her just watching the watching the laundry. She's just like, what the hell?
I think Ren is too shy for that massage because he was blushing when she mentioned it.
Dude, he was blushing
Oh.
on the whole idea of the maid service.
You sweet innocent boy.
Like literally that face. I'm gonna show it real quick again. This face is literally his reaction to the maid service shit. Literally saying, "Let's do it."
Yeah, just let's do it.
Remember, Mishima's doing this for research.
Which is why
Yeah,
Red said, "In that case, let's do it," and just had that face.
He saw heaven and went for it.
Oh. The other thing I love about this episode, the other thing that I found to be really funny is when he's gonna go call Kami, and he has to call her while Sotro isn't looking. So, okay, I don't want to be caught, so while calling the maid service.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was a very nice touch.
Oh, makes sense.
What else is there? This is essentially a Ryuji's episode.
Surprisingly.
Ryuji's episode, considering after the beginning, we really don't see An and Yusuke again after like the bathhouse scene.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I take it back. We see An in the classroom, but like no speaking lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
I
think
just
that
have-
was for the only time.
Mm-hmm. I just also need to bring up Morgana's enthusiasm about watching the laundry while An was in the bathhouse.
Dude, he was bored. You could tell.
But then excited as soon as An came back in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because he was doing her a favor, basically.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, when I saw the beginning with that, let's say with the fan service of I'm just like, Emma, you are really close to getting that mature rating.
You said that already.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I think that's kind of more typical of anime.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
you can get away in anime showing a lot more skin than you can on Western television.
Pretty
Depending
friggin'
on-
much.
Depending.
I can tell you that for a fact.
Also good point. Morgana. Our main characters should do well in school, or else people will be suspicious.
No, I love the look on their faces, because I think we can conclude at this point that this is like Knowledge 1 Ren, because the look on his face was just like, ugh, pathetic.
Yeah, I think he failed.
I think he failed.
He basically Ryuji'd it.
Huge.
He Ryuji'd it. So yeah, this is sadly not going to be the Knowledge 3 Ren that gets the best girl.
then again, you see him go to the library and get a book, so I'm guessing that's like his indication of, yep, I need to improve my studying.
Yeah, I think he learned.
Unless he ended up by just renting out like the Arsène Lupin book.
Yeah, the various books at that point only talk about the different personas. I don't know. I'm trying to think on which one actually boosts knowledge, though. It's probably Lupin, actually.
Yeah.
I think it is.
And speaking of that, I just love the fact that I was just like, really? I was just like, really, but in a good way. where we actually see the chick be like, this person would be mine as Ren is passing by her.
Yeah, and that was a Mementos request, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
you're right,
is.
Dean. The Great Thief does boost knowledge.
Sweet, I know. My knowledge got boosted.
Yeah, I can't tell what book that was because again I can't read the kanji. So
Mhm.
Be honest, you said that was a Mentos request.
yeah, wasn't that?
It is, yeah. The stalker girl, well, Yandere, is actually a Mementos request. I think you got like several of the side characters that you can talk in passing throughout that hallway scene because you also see the newspaper girl.
Yeah, newspaper girl.
Yeah. Because I was about to say, the person, the chick that's like stalking on. I swear, couldn't you like talk, talk to her in the game as well?
You can.
Yeah, but it was sort of like her telling you to like scram or something like that.
Yeah, pretty
Or
much.
you just do that thing where you just listen in, you just see her be very obsessive and all that.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dean.
Pretty much. Anyways, Dean, Zachary,
I'm done.
All right, that's
I'm
all
done.
you had to say.
Except for yes. And then actually Oh wait. All right, you're next.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Nelson needs to give his opinion.
Yeah, you've been like
Yeah, jerk.
you were about to skip me. Nah, but when it comes to the episode in general, yeah, that's the one thing I liked about it is that compared to the last episode, this one, in a lot of ways, like, once we get to the differences and comparisons, this episode had a couple of massive differences compared to the game itself, but they were done in a way that makes it work for the media. And it's something that Persona 4's animation also did. Like I said, we'll get into that in the differences and comparisons. And I definitely like that we're getting some more of the school itself with, like, the background thing where Ren going to the library, getting a book, passing by a couple of other students who are still leery of him, and various other things of that nature. It's a good way to, like establish the school even further, because we haven't seen too much of the school as of right now, or many of the, or the animosity towards Ren, or the leeriness towards Ren because of the criminal record. This is like one of the few times we're getting to see more of that. And not to mention, this episode's just funny as hell. Like, we all knew what was coming up when we saw the title. And so, like, the fact that they not only did they have it happen in its full entirety, but then they went with some of the more funnier options from the game. Literally, nice to meet out you as well, and I'm a dad. It's like, wow, these guys are going for something hilarious.
You're a dad at 16, Ren. Wow.
It wouldn't be that far-fetched, honestly.
Especially in Japan.
And then we see Mishima just jump off the balcony.
What's on the second floor, too?
Oh, rest in peace, Mishima.
Mishima and Ryuji.
I get Ryuji, but not Mishima, no.
Mishima would not survive.
I guess
He'd probably break his leg.
I guess he climbed down.
Well, again, we don't see Mishima ever again after that part.
Oh.
Well, would you want to be around after that shit?
Mishima is dead.
I duck out.
A moment of silence for Mishima.
Can I just say, I forgot to bring this up. I love the fact that that Tai says, yeah, you're looking fidgety today. Is something going on tonight?
And then you see the foggy glass like, not particularly.
Not particularly.
Oh, it's...
You're in this?
And I'm just going to say, like, I know I keep complaining about Ren's shiny glasses of angst, but Ren's shiny glasses of sexual arousal denial are beautiful.
Oh, God.
Again, the picture I showed earlier, just that picture. Oh my god.
It's just all sweaty.
That picture just said, dude, just that scene in general where, like, Becky was trying to talk with him. He's just like... And he recognized her voice, but he wrote it off as a coincidence at one point.
That I can do cleaning, laundry, and there are other services that I provide.
Oh my god, it was fucking amazing. And again...
I love how as soon as she came in, he stuck his hands right back in his pockets. And he tried to do that the whole time.
And again, just like I said, Ren has a personality. Holy shit.
Took him a while, but he finally has grown a personality, and a personality different from the other two protagonists, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Indeed.
exactly.
I'm
So,
glad that we're seeing those buds that have finally sprouted.
so now we can transition ourselves into the differences and similarities, and the biggest difference is literally how they handle Ryuji and Kawakami's story. I think it's amazingly well done, primarily because, again, Persona 4 has done this, where the Persona 4 is animation, where they sometimes combine confidences together, not always to a great degree. Summer! And,
Yeah.
And here it's a nice little idea because, you know, Ren calls the maid service, Kawakami's involved, Ren helps her out at one point, and then, like, when, you know, like, Ryuji and Ren get involved, like, you know, get into something with the former track team, Ren calls Kawakami because she's the only one who probably would be willing to tell him anything about what happened with Ryuji.
The fact that he's paying her to basically just tell me about my friend's trauma. Helps.
Pretty much.
Can I just say I love the fact that they took that little snippet of information that was like at the beginning of the game and the anime and pretty much expanded upon it.
Yeah, like Kawakami knows more, but didn't actually like say anything about it yet.
Exactly, until Ren asked about it, and it would make sense Kawakami would know because she even said it that Ryuji was a far different person when he was training in track. So it would make sense that, you know, she would know more about the story and such, and might be willing to divulge it to Ren, especially since technically she does owe him for helping him helping her out with the English teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
Other teachers do exist in this anime.
Oh yeah, finally! I can't believe it. And they had to pick the English teacher who has this. I don't know what's with it when like a lot of English teachers in anime, but they have this weird tendency of just like putting random English whenever they talk in Japanese.
I think from what I've heard, it's because usually the English teachers are actually from the UK or the US.
Yeah.
I believe so. I mean, by her, the way she looks, she doesn't seem native Japanese.
No.
Yeah, I think someone said that she might be US Hispanic or something like that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, she looks it, honestly. She looks it.
See you.
But
the way that sounded.
But it's such a really good difference that they went with that route because it connects two stories together. Well, sort of. Because we all know that there's still more to Kawakami's story, but, you know, the anime hasn't gone into that further yet. Which makes me curious to see if they'll do other confidences like that. Like, we're still seeing the continued growth of Tai's story, basically, with the main... Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, with this episode, not only did we get you know, those two confidences, but we got a hint of the next two as well with Yusuke and Tai, because with Yusuke is at the beginning with like drawing mementos.
And we also get, and again,
he was inspired by that.
And of course, again with Tai, we pretty much see like, you know, he's still visiting Tai Takemi.
Yeah, though the thing with Yusuke, it might be just a reference to some of the ambient dialogue you can get when traveling through mementos.
Yeah.
Because at one point you can get dialogue about how Yusuke is feeling stimulation from it and Ryuji gets freaked out.
I do remember that line. I do remember that line.
That makes a lot of sense, especially given on how there's so much dialogue in those memento side conversations. I'm surprised they even brought that up.
Yeah, not to mention, while a lot of lines repeat, they do change up when more characters join your party.
I'm just legitimately surprised they included the laundry stuff.
And not to mention, we actually get to see not only a Persona, a Persona acquired moment, but we even get to see a freaking fusion.
Yay!
Yeah. That
With
was nice.
Archangel and Slime. I don't know if that actually does create new, but I'll take their word on it.
Oh, she's looking it up.
Yes, I'm looking it up.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I just like to check all these things.
I wonder if they're accurate. That would be actually a nice touch if that's accurate.
Now
Persona Fusion calendar. There I am.
Now the question is though, is like, besides those two major differences, what else is there?
On that.
I guess in the anime, Kawakami has even more bigger hints that Ryuji and Mishima are behind that thing. You know, the door.
Well, no, she recognized their name. She recognized their voices immediately in the game. Not even joking.
Oh.
Not like
how do you spell Nu's name?
Nue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not literally, Zachary. Like as soon as like as soon as Mishima like yells, like I remember it's Mishima who yells out. Like Ryuji like tells him to be quiet, and then like he's like, wait a minute, that voice, and then literally recognizes, and that's when they run.
And the anime it's the other way around.
Yeah, but that's not really a difference.
I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Archangel and Slime can potentially be used to fuse Nu, but not together.
Oh.
What? Not together?
Archangel, yeah, like I guess it's Archangel. Well, I'm using the Persona Fusion calculator, and it is sometimes wrong. But it looks like it's like Archangel and like Shisa or Slime and Fuki or something like that. But
That
not
sounds-
Archangel and Slime itself.
That sounds about right, given the fact that Slime and all those personas that you mentioned are part of the Chariot Arcana.
Yeah.
So I think they're somewhat right with that. Somewhat.
Yeah, like Shisa and Slime are in the Chariot. Fuki's in the Star, though.
Oh,
And of course, Archangel is Justice.
right.
Nu's in the Moon, though. Interesting.
Anyway,
Wait.
like
Yeah. Back on topic.
Sorry.
Wait,
no, don't worry
we were
about it.
talking about Persona, right?
Yeah, like not, but it was an interesting thing to think about. But honestly, if I'm being fair, there really isn't that many differences. Like the episode, for the most part, played it straight, except for, like I said, like basically this one major difference, and that's literally having like changing it up. That Kawakami is the one who tells Ren about Ryuji's story.
Yeah, basically both of them are intertwined with each other.
Exactly. Beyond that, we also beyond that, everything else is pretty much straight. We get to see the introduction and continuation of Ryuji. Oh no, there is another difference.
Yeah. There's one I did.
Ren is the one who finds out about
Yes.
the track team instead of the new track team coach instead of Ryuji, because in the game Ryuji has to do a bit of research and figure out he knows who it is, but he has to figure out the person's drinking schedule so you can possibly get information on him so you can actually let the track team know what's going on.
Well, yeah. Well, in the anime, Ren knows about it, and he actually calls Ryuji to the place.
Yeah, and of course,
Yeah.
Ren offers to enter the shop, which is the same as the game, because it would make sense that this guy wouldn't know who Ren is. Remember, he transferred after the fact.
Yeah. Far as I know, the change on that one was that Ryuji went with Akira into the shop in the game and then left, so that way Akira could record the conversation on his phone without getting noticed.
He was
Whereas
actually in the bathroom. He was actually in the bathroom.
That's what, yeah, that's close enough, though. Still not in the area, general area.
Right.
Whereas, apparently in the anime, Ren goes in by himself.
And they don't even record it.
And he doesn't record it.
No, they don't. They literally just are hoping that these guys will listen by their word alone.
Which I have to admit, I have the unpopular opinion of thinking is kind of stupid.
It's a little cheesy.
Yeah,
it's a little cheesy. It's like, I believe Ren. That's good enough for me. It's like, yeah, but he's also a criminal. Oh.
Yeah,
He's like, friendship.
yeah, exactly.
Friendship is magic.
But I do like that they keep the scene intact where they say that it was this guy's fault. Ryuji, background got leaked, and otherwise, and he literally says, "Who cares?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. This is the one thing I liked about Ryuji's confidency in the game, is that he comes off as far more mature in the confidency than he does in the actual game itself. Whereas in the anime, I far more love anime Ryuji than I do game Ryuji, quite honestly.
I think we all agree on that because game Ryuji just went a bit too far a lot of the time, and later on it actually detriments the group.
Yeah,
While
actually, Go ahead, finish up, Dean, and I'll start.
Okay, while anime Ryuji just seems a lot more chill. He may be headstrong a lot of the time, but he does mean well, but he's also a lot more chill when it comes to a lot of situations, which I do appreciate. Because his headstrongness does get pretty annoying at some parts.
And he makes dumb decisions, because like Morgana's like, oh, act like a normal student, make sure you're studying otherwise. What does he get involved in with Ren? Calling a maid. Great fucking.
I'd argue that that's not suspicious when it comes to Ryuji.
But I'm just saying, great fucking job, Ryuji. Just see, that's just like one of those words where it's just like, yep, that's Ryuji being an idiot. But
yep,
you know what? He's a teenager, so fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
But yeah, beyond that, I don't really know that many other differences. You wanted to say something, Cole?
Yeah. When it comes to Ryuji I do really like how the game is making him a little bit more closer to his confidant thing. But something I remember in the game, especially when I was rewatching Ryuji's confidant, Dean's right. There's a huge disconnect much later in the anime, which really makes me wonder if his confidant was in the game, whatever. Which really makes me wonder if his confidant was designed to actually be finished as quickly as possible.
There is kind of hints on that, and plus its normal tendency is like you're normally your best friend guy or anyone that you meet within the first round is kind of the first person that you would need to technically complete. I personally didn't. I think there were other characters I wanted to go for.
Yeah.
But
I feel like the overlap in Ryuji's characterization in the game is much more consistent at the beginning than it is at the end. Because once you get to the end, it's like you're dealing with a completely different character because of how he develops.
Whereas in the anime, his character has remained completely consistent, both with the story of the confidency that we're seeing, his personal story, and the story of him being a phantom thief. It's like, this is one of the many reasons I like Persona 3, is because a character's personal story is also interwoven with the main story.
Granted, that's partially because most of the characters you don't have confidants with are NPCs, not the party members.
True enough. But it still makes it feel like that they're gradually changing and becoming more dynamic characters. Look at Junpei, for example, who starts off as a hot-headed show-off, but then later actually becomes a much more mature and reserved kind of guy. Literally like a brother, basically.
But that's the thing about I was gonna say about Ryuji. It seems like with the game expects you to either max out Ryuji or on first.
Let me tell you something.
To me, it feels like because there's no stopgaps on Ryuji, that it feels like the game wants you to either max it out right away, or max it at the way, way end after Ryuji goes over that jerk hurdle we can't really talk about. Because if you do it during that time, the disconnect in characterization is ridiculously wide.
Zach, mind if I real quick?
No.
Just real quick, man.
All right.
You can get Ryuji's confidency done before you even start Junior Kaneshiro.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
The reason why I know this is because Shenpai did it. I mean, that was her favorite person in the game, so she literally focused on him only.
Yeah, and it's after Kaneshiro when he starts to go off the rails.
Anyways, go ahead, Zachary.
Yeah, I was trying to say, I argued the only real pit stop when it came to Ryuji's confidants is that at one point you actually do have to wait on him to call you
to find this guy.
Depending on when you do it, he can literally call you in 2 days.
Literally, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, and if you don't respond, it could probably take a while before he calls you again.
All right, but real quick, it's we're kind of we've kind of spent a lot of time on this one topic about Ryuji, but that's the biggest difference that we're noticing with this episode in particular compared to the game. Ryuji's character throughout the animation has been remaining very consistent and growing with with his own personal story, whereas in the game, as Cole has said, his character, it really feels like his character it tries to develop, but then it just goes completely into a nosedive by the later parts of the game. And then when you go back to do his confidency, which I did at one point because I didn't have him maxed out, oh my god, it felt like I was like interacting with a different character. It feels so fucking like disjointed.
Yeah, like character development doesn't always have to be positive, and I do kind of like that Ryuji's character development has him scale and then have to tread backwards, but at the same time, it is very obvious that something wasn't, that continuity wasn't quite in mind.
And when it comes to like Ryuji in the anime, really the only times he gets like like annoying and angry is of course whenever he interacts with Morgana, which makes me wonder if the anime will do that particular scene.
It's probably going to, I wouldn't be against it.
I wouldn't either, honestly, because with the way the anime is handling time, like we don't know how much time is passing within like these palaces and otherwise. So I think they can make the story work if they do it well.
Yeah, like right now we only know that we're in June, but we're probably in early June.
Yeah, I think the reason we're spending the like so much time on Ryuji is because like pretty much out of like all the party members, this is like the most different of like the party members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any more differences we want to cover, or should we move on to the final?
One thing I want to say that I absolutely love. I just love how Kawakami is hearing Ryuji getting beat up.
I know. We said that at the beginning, dude.
We did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
We said that at the very beginning.
Oh, shit.
He was distracted by On.
Oh my god.
I was about to say, like, the only other big difference I could think of is the fact that On had a shower scene, so... But I think we also went over that, too.
Yeah,
To put it very
Please
simply...
don't touch me.
To put it very simply, this episode is a nice crux to the previous episode. The previous episode played it very straight, but it was a detriment to the episode. Whereas this episode, it's only really had one major difference. But but beyond that, yeah, this episode played it fairly straight. But guess what? It did it in a way that made it appealing and fun to watch. If you're gonna play it straight, you gotta make sure that it's still fun to watch, enjoyable, and doesn't make you think, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the previous episode did, unfortunately. And this episode, like, it kind of plays it straight as well, with one major difference. But that one major difference literally just makes the episode.
Yeah, exactly.
And Nelson said this to me. But I was just like, that the ending to this episode just crabs over the ending of episode 4 some more.
Episode 4 is just... Yeah, because guess what? Instead of talking about the next arc like episode 4 did when it came to Madarame, we just go back to the interrogation room.
Oh my god, you're right!
Oh yeah.
Episode 4.
Fuck episode 4.
Also, did this episode have an Akechi sighting? I don't think it did.
Nope.
By the end, I think.
No.
Not even that. I don't think so.
So, got everyone in the podcast, like everyone watching the podcast, take a shot every time we say fuck episode 4 because the next episode made it worse.
I'm gonna give someone alcohol poisoning.
Anyways, I think we can move on to the final part. We didn't, like I said, there's only a few major differences and they're really good to the episode. So, anyways, we now move on to the final part. What is this a good episode for a fan, and is this a good episode for a general watcher? Dean.
Okay, for general watchers, I believe they would enjoy this a bit more. They would probably be extremely confused and question why the hell is their homeroom teacher a freaking sex worker maid. So, but then again, we all had that question when we first played the game, so they're going to be just as confused.
Exactly.
Which is kind of hilarious the more I think about it. But the way that they also worked in Ryuji's story, it would definitely be interesting for them because we did get that hint like way back when in like episode 3 with the track team actually confronting Ryuji before. Was that 2?
Yeah, it was 2.
Yeah, okay, that episode. That's still way far back, even farther back now. And so we got an answer to that and an actual resolution towards a story. So I think they'll enjoy that. They'll also be intrigued by, well, probably be intrigued by the various things that goes on in the school because they actually did show like some of the side things that you can do in the game, which I found actually kind of interesting.
Go ahead, Zachary.
Speaking of school, hi Haru again.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
random
that's
Haru
right.
appearance.
Oh man, the anime is doing a much better job of showing her than what the game did.
Okay, I will admit that when they actually do freaking talk to her.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
so let's
Because
keep
like
it-
the cameos are nice, but like give us actual conversation.
Yeah, so let's
Like,
be careful what we're saying.
You know, like, I don't know, Ren helps her garden or something. That'd be nice. But anyway, as for fans of the game, they'll definitely notice the whole thing with Ryuji's confidant basically being kind of abridged to a point in where that's kept simple, especially since it's mostly the relevant parts of it. But I think that Ryuji's confidant as well is kind of pretty simple to understand. Really.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely one of the more straightforward ones.
Yeah, it's literally just him helping the track team regain their place and, just wishing them the best of luck. Like, he doesn't, like, that's the thing. Ryuji literally says to himself that he has no intention of joining back up with it. He's done with that. But
Yeah.
he just wants them to be happy. Like, he feels like he ruined their shot, so this is more or less his way of redeeming himself and his, and his former track mates.
Yeah, and that worked out pretty better, and especially when I compare to the P4 anime, but how they handled some abridging social links. But Yukiko, I'm still bitter about. I'm just gonna move on from that.
Nelson told me of the episode where they abridged 5 social links at once.
Yeah, why do you think?
yeah.
Why?
I'm going to give you a reassuring pat on the back because I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about,
during
and
this,
I feel your
sir.
fury.
Summer.
Summer.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the summer arc in the P4 anime is probably the worst about it, but that means I'm kind of concerned about how they'll handle the rest of it. But that's beside the point.
Don't
Please
fuck it
don't
up.
eat it.
Don't fuck it up.
Okay, so other things from things that general watchers might, you're gonna have a laugh and a half with Kawakami's first introduction, being in the maid uniform and all that. You're just gonna enjoy it. We certainly did.
Especially with that cartoony heart effect.
and Red's reaction throughout it all.
I'm a dad.
Like you saw,
I'm a
just
dad.
trying to avoid eye contact with her, just sweating fucking bullets.
Yep, the most astute of folks will actually do see that those are actual choices in the game. So go nuts. They did a great job with that. Yeah, I think that's about it. Anyone who's a fan of the game will certainly enjoy it, especially for actual nods to the game. You may point out some of the biggest things. We probably missed some things actually. And if general watchers would enjoy it as well.
All right, so Cole.
I'm actually going to start with the fans on this one first. Yes. I think that a lot of the fans are really going to like how this episode was adapted and how they managed to tie Kawakami's, or at least Ren calling the maid service up, and Kawakami and getting the information from Kamikaze?
Oh.
What?
Wow, this anime took a dark turn.
The point is, I think a lot of fans are really going to like how the anime decided to tie those threads together in order to get to its conclusion. And I actually really like it because it makes it feel more like that all of the fandom thieves are by proxy involved with their confidants in a way. Which makes no sense, but anyway. But I think fans are really going to like this. Episode. Casual watchers, the ones that stuck around, I think they're going to get a couple of good laughs too. Some people are probably going to roll their eyes at On being seen like 3/4 naked in the bathhouse, but I think most people are going to like it. But I don't think this is going to be the episode that makes people come back that jump ship.
Oh.
Because by the definition of the term, this is, I guess, technically could be considered a filler episode.
Yeah, it can be.
I could see
And it's like the anime's done a pretty good job with its more standalone stuff, but when it hits the climax episodes, episode 4, fuck you, episode 4, and episode 8, it just continues to drop the ball, which means that it's going to need to it's going to have to really show that, yes, it can pull a full story arc out in order to get those people to come back.
Oh god, this makes me hope that they don't f up the climax to the next arcs as well.
There are many things about the Kaneshiro arc that I am very nervous about for multiple reasons.
And not to mention, since Kaneshiro's palace in general was a lot of people's least favorite.
Yeah, well, it's mostly the dungeon itself, I believe, or the palace. Excuse me.
The palace and that one part later, which I won't spoil because you never know, the anime may actually reference it.
Yeah. Well, I guess the palace, if they are going to expand on one thing, the only thing they'll probably expand on is let's just say the little puzzle when they go down to the bottom floor.
Okay, unpopular opinion, but I like the bank. And I like the boss fight.
I like the bank. The bank is fun, and especially has my favorite track in terms of palace music.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Cole, do you have anything else to add?
Nah, I don't think so.
Zach, you're up.
For casual watchers, they'll probably, for the ones that stick around, they'll, since humor is subjective and all, people could kind of roll their eyes at this episode, or they'll get a really good laugh at it. Really good laugh at it. As for fans, I think they'll enjoy it for the most part, especially for people like me who really loved how intertwined and how smoothly they flow to Ryuichi and Kawakami's confidency is really smoothly. It was really good.
Interwoven.
Yes.
Zoom tight.
What?
Yeah, interwoven. Gesundheit.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Well, you took a pause there, so I was just like, you know what that means.
I'm pleading the fifth.
What's the fifth?
Oh, fuck you guys.
Wait, you don't know what interwoven means?
No.
And you're using it!
I used it.
Cole
I
used
used it because I thought that's what Zach was trying to talk about. How everything was lined up together.
Yeah, I was trying to say intertwining.
Oh.
Intertwined, interwoven, same thing, same difference.
Oy vey.
Sorry.
Zach,
This is what happens when I'm half asleep. I'm sorry.
I got nothing else to add. Both sides will like it. Jeez.
For me, I'm gonna start with the general watchers. I do have to agree with Cole that I don't think this will be the episode that'll bring people back, but I still feel like it's an episode that most general watchers will enjoy. Yes, the first half is silly, and it really depends on what your definition of humor is, but the rest of the episode itself is actually pretty heartwarming, and I like the fact that it delves more into Ryuji's backstory of him being in the track team at one point, and even we get to learn more about that through Kawakami herself. I think that's a really cool thing that they do. So even if a general watcher didn't like the first half of the episode, I still think they would like the second half because we get to see more story with Ryuji himself, and we get to see sort of a conclusion to the track team thing that we see in episode 2. So, I think a general watcher, while not everyone's going to come back in this episode, I still feel like a lot of general watchers are going to enjoy it because of the second half. If you like the first half as well, I say that's a bonus.
Oh, by the way, we're 9 episodes in, and they still haven't given names to Carolee.
I wasn't done yet, you dingus. You're not letting... Look at you, Zachary. You tried to skip over me, and now you're trying to cut me short.
Yep.
What is wrong with you, this podcast?
Nothing. Maybe you're the problem.
Oh my god.
Well, you have a rebellion going on in here.
He's taking over.
Everyone's against Nelson.
Anyways, fans. Yeah, fans are going to enjoy this episode quite a bit. Now, they might not like the way that... There might be some that might not like the way that the story was abridged. Like, I think it was Cole, or was it Dean who said that?
Which part?
How Ryuji's story was abridged, basically.
Oh, I think that was me.
Yeah, like, I know some fans might not like the fact that Ryuji's story was abridged, but as you said, they covered the important parts of the story. Pretty much like how the track team feel towards Ryuji, and they're like, oh, we don't want you joining our new track team, and yada yada yada, and Ryuji trying to, like, Ren basically helping Ryuji to help the track team not only reestablish themselves, but avoid disaster once again.
Yeah, and I'll be fair here, Persona 5 handled abridging a social link or confidant, whatever, much better than how they handled some of the Persona 4 stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because some of the social links in Persona 4's animation, the way they bridged it, some of them were pretty good. Others, not so much.
Yukiko, Naoto. No, Rise was handled pretty good.
A lot of the confidants during the summer.
Yeah, the summer
Naoki
ones.
was handled really well, I think.
Wait, who?
Naoki.
Oh yeah, him. He was handled pretty well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are a few that were handled well. It's just, I think like Persona 5, if they can keep this up with the abridged social links and cover the stuff that needs to be covered, I think they got a good. I think they might have a good thing on their hands.
I'm a little worried by the fact, though, that it took us to episode 9 to get a confidant max, though.
Well, yeah, and we still got more to go, so we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see what happens, because... but yeah, I think a fan will like this episode quite a lot, and like I said, it plays it straight, but it adds this one difference that I really feel like really does work, because the characters, like, relationships to one another. Again, Kawakami knowing about Ryuji before what happened with the track team and yada yada yada, that works. So yeah, fans will really like this episode, I feel like, and if a general watcher, I think they'll get a kick out of the beginning part, and if not, they'll like the second half of the episode.
Yep.
Win for everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, this episode is a massive crux to the previous episode, like, for the same reasons. Previous episode played it straight, but it was a detriment to it, whereas this episode played it straight, but it worked in its favor.
Oh, and speaking of confidants, if I could say something, I have when it comes to, like, Caroline and Justine, I have a feeling they might not do that. They're confidants because it's just,
Well,
bring this person over here, have this skill.
Well, then again, they never do that. They never did that for Persona 3 or 4's, because they never did that in Persona 4 or 3's animation either.
And truth be told, Caroline and Justine's story can go along even without
exactly.
The confidant being done.
It could be interwoven into the story, kind of like what they did with Persona 4 and Persona 3's movies.
The only thing our confidants adds is a hint towards the end.
Yes.
Yeah, and they could easily work that in the actual end, I'd say.
But I think we've pretty much found ourselves at the end, so next time we'll be coming around. Oh boy, another long titled episode.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it, but I think it was something like Show Me the Truth to Your Justice or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I'd like to see your justice with my own eyes, something like that.
Yeah,
and that's at least it's not as long as last week's episode.
Which was bull.
Thank God. Let's just hope that this episode, because we all know what's coming up. This is the beginning of the Junior Kaneshiro arc, and this is also going to be the beginning of the new character we'll be having in the story.
And if they fuck this up so bad.
We're gonna have something to talk about if they screw it up.
And also, if they screw up so bad, we might as well not show up to the podcast and just have Dean and Cole do it.
Yeah, we'll talk over. We'll add comments, all that stuff. Hell, we'll be the ones to introduce the podcast.
Yeah, so stay tuned, everybody. The next if they mess up the next episode, it looks like me and Zach won't be needed.
to try to calm their anger down.
Probably. But anyways, before we leave off, let me ask you all, what did you think about this episode of the Wolf Podcast? Did you have a different opinion compared to us? Do you have a comparison that we didn't talk about? Go ahead and leave your comments down below and we'll discuss it in the comment section. Till next time, I'm Keen947, aka Wolfkeen, along with...
I am DM Kami, says DM Pwn 3000.
Hey, this is FlOrangey.
And this has been Mario Fanboy 15. And hey, Ren, a nice plate to your collection.
I saw that and I'm glad they did that. Dude, please put the chocolate fountain in his room.
Yes!
Fucking do it!
Oh, and the Rise poster too, please.
Yeah, that too. I really want the Rise poster.
And the dolls that you can get for the crane machine on top
The
of
Teddy doll. The Jack Frost doll. Go for those.
Yes, yes.
Do all that. But until then, take care, everyone.